I went from story clock to finished feature screenplay in less than 5 days. Here's how I did it. I love listening to music while I write, some of it with words, some of it without. Yes, I'm still rocking the wires. Don't have money for AirPods. This project I'm working on right now is my second feature screenplay. The first one I completed in March, and I think that took me about 3 weeks to write. It's currently day 4 into writing, and the reason I started recording today instead of day 1 was really because I didn't think I was gonna make it this far. I've started and stopped writing several other feature projects, and I just didn't want the pressure of having a camera on me while I was getting those first couple dozen pages out. But speaking of starting, step 1 in all of this, after I got the idea, was just an idea dump. Step 2 is actually this, the story circle. I'm a big fan of doing this, basically plotting out on a circular timeline all of the events in your movie, and this is actually the thing that I'll be referencing for the rest of the writing process. Step 3, according to my friend Sam, is take a fancy picture of said story clock and post it to Facebook. Very important step. Originally, I was going to make a detailed scene-by-scene outline. I've done that with some other projects, specifically one I'm co-writing with a friend, which I can't talk about yet. But at 11 p.m. 3 days ago, or 4 days ago, do you count? Is it 3 days if you're counting from the day you're on? Several days ago, at 11 p.m., I just got really inspired and started writing. Fast forward to 4 a.m. and I had written 21 pages and actually started to think this was a viable idea. Day 2, I wrote 12 pages, day 3, 13, and day 4 today, who knows? Hopefully a lot. Currently, I am on page 46 of the script, and it's a shorter piece, probably going to be about 80 to 90 pages when it's all said and done, which means I've just passed the midpoint of the story. My goal right now is to get about 10 to 15 pages in today, and then another 10 to 15 tomorrow, and then by day 5 or 6, hopefully wrap up the script. So I can't talk too much about the actual idea itself. If you want to go watch the Twilight Zone episode, I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's season 4, episode 5, called Valley of the Shadow. This is what this feature is based on. I really encourage it. Twilight Zone is one of my favorite TV shows. The 60s version, not any of the new stuff. Alright, I made it to page 50 of the script, big milestone, and I really like standing for this. I think I'm going to keep doing that in future videos. So this whole concept of just coming up with an idea and going for it, writing it really, really fast, like under a week, it's really interesting to me. Now, if you're a planner, which obviously I am not when it comes to screenwriting, you probably hate this whole idea. And while I do absolutely see the value of outlining everything, knowing what every scene of your movie is, having your entire film planned out to the finest detail before you start typing, I understand the value of that, but I think there is a tendency to get lost in the outline. What I mean by that is people can get so caught up with rewriting their movie again and again before they've even ever gotten a first draft down that they end up spending months or even years just trying to get their first feature written. Now, the benefit of being a planner, of course, is that once you do finally get that script done, your first draft is going to look a whole lot more polished than one of mine. But I don't know if spending months or even years on a single draft of a script is worth it. I think I work best when the ideas are flowing and I can get everything just out onto the page, I can see it all there, and then I can start the rewriting process, which I definitely need to do a whole video or several videos about that. Okay, back to writing. Honestly, making this video is turning out to be more of a distraction than Facebook was. Alright, so it is 11:30. I am 58 pages into the script. Things are going relatively well. Right now, I'm sort of struggling a bit with the theme. I know the theme, and it comes into play really heavy-handed after the midpoint, but before then, I don't talk about it very much. It needs to come up earlier in the film so that we can have that set up and the payoff in acts 2 and 3. So working on that. The interesting thing about the theme in this film is that the main character takes one side, the antagonist takes another, and then all of the side characters around them are wrestling with the theme in their own ways. So I thought that was really fun how that worked out, because trust me, I didn't plan it that way. I'm hoping to get to page 60 by the end of the night, which means that I'll only have to write 20 to 30 more pages depending on how it goes, so I should be done in a total of 6 days. Before I sign off the night, I wanted to real quick talk about a concept that I heard from writer-director Jordan Peele. He was talking about how he was writing his movie and he came up with this concept, I assume he coined the term, follow the fun, which means that he would only write that script whenever it was fun, whenever he was invested in it, whenever he was interested. If he didn't get a page done that day, it was fine. If he got 20 pages done that day, great. And so I've sort of been applying that with this script. Again, for the first 3 days, I didn't even know I was going to make a video about this. I didn't know I was going to try and finish it under a week. And the thing is that each day, whenever I stopped writing, I never stopped because I got stuck. I have had a writer's block plenty of times before with my other feature and short films, but with this one, I never really got stuck. I always knew what was coming next, partially because this is based on a TV episode, so I can draw inspiration from that. But I knew what was coming, I just always stopped because I was getting tired of the scene that I was in. I was following the fun. I stopped when things got boring, because if your script starts to become boring, your audience is bored, and that's never a good thing. Alright, I'm signing off for tonight. I will see you, hopefully not bright and early, in the morning. Alright, last night went really well, stayed up till about 4 a.m. I was too tired to set up the camera again and do an update, but I did make it to page 72, so there's a chance I can actually finish the script today, day 5, instead of tomorrow, like I was originally thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, the end is in sight. I'm currently on page 80 of the script, and based on the story clock and some of the other notes I made, that means I have between 4 and 8 pages left to go before this is finally finished. Even now, it's still a little hard to believe that I just started writing this 4 days ago, and that was off and on writing, at least for the first 3 days. Like I said, I didn't start recording till yesterday, day 4, and I didn't even know I was going to try and do this in under a week when I started, so it was off and on, usually writing late at night into the wee hours of the morning. Alright, I'm going to get back to it and hopefully finish this script in the next hour or two. I'm on the very last line of the script. Finished the script, and even though I said I like standing, I think I'm gonna just sit down for the rest of this video. Grand total was 84 pages. Now that is a little short for a script, but I didn't really want to set any page goals, especially since I didn't really prep much for this project. There's already a million things that I want to rewrite, especially before anyone sees it. Something I did want to talk about is if you think you want to do this, if you want to dive right into a feature with little to no prep like I did and just get it done, I would not try this with your first. I did try to do something like this about a year ago, and I thought that was going to be my first feature. I got 20 pages in and quit, and then I didn't write anything until March. And even that was a facilitated class where the instructor, Leanne Barna, who's amazing, she walked us through every step, every day, gave us specific goals we needed to hit to actually accomplish it. So I would recommend, you don't have to take a class, but I would recommend taking a bit longer, maybe a couple weeks to write your first script. And then you can start experimenting and trying to go faster or slower or whatever works for you on your second, third, etc. Something that helped me to write faster, especially scenes that were dialogue heavy, was going into it understanding where each character was at. Most of these conversations had just 2 people, so understanding that character A wants something that character B has, and character B doesn't want character A to have it. So basically creating a want, a MacGuffin, and an obstacle in this other character creates conflict, which hopefully leads to good dialogue. Will I ever do this again? That's complicated. I guess coming off this high of writing is a weird experience. So right now, I'm not sure. I think I would like to. I think I would like to try again and actually make the time shorter because for the first 3 days of this, I was writing very much off and on. I didn't know going into this that it was going to become a challenge, that I was going to make a video about it. But once I started filming on day 4, I took inspiration from Tyler Mowrey's I Wrote a Screenplay in 48 Hours, which honestly his is a whole lot more impressive. Total from idea to completion took me about a week. He came up with the idea, outlined the whole thing, and wrote a screenplay, I think it was like 92 pages, in 48 hours. So massive respect. And I'll link that video in the description. Whether you're working on a short film or a feature, I think this is a worthy exercise. I think I inspired myself because I really didn't know going into this that I was going to be able to finish this script, let alone do it in 5 days. Even on day 4, I thought it was going to take 6 days to a week to actually complete the first draft. Alright everybody, that's it. Please subscribe to Ignite Visuals, check out the Script to Screen podcast. Comment below with your thoughts on the video. Have you ever done a timed screenwriting challenge, or are you going to? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.